Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Child. Let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's go. So we're back with the Fletchers at dinner, right? Nell is going off on CJ because he won't pay her the money. He wants the dog back. Then she's letting him know how much it is. Then Alexis gets into it. And Nell tells Alexis to shut up. Now, Alexis is Chris's daughter. And they about fed up with her. So let's get back over here where CJ and Lance. Lance has a home improvement business. He has had to fire CJ, right? Because he would not do right. And Nell was saying that they're all having problems with him. Let's get into Lance. What is his story? Child. Let's keep going. Now I'm going to have to give Nell some grace, right? Even though she's a hard one, I feel like Chris is the one that they really respect, because she did say, and I don't mean respect, they respect their mama too, but she did say they put her on a payment plan where they pay him back. And she said if it wasn't for her, they never have any money. Y'all need to pay your mama back. Lance, pay your mama back. I watched it and I had to go back and watch this about Alexis. And you need to really understand where she's coming from. Alexis is Chris's daughter, right? So whatever was going on with Chris, whether it was a divorce or a breakup, he left, right? And he got into a relationship with Nell. Nell came with Lance, who was with her. Then they had two other kids who were with them. So Alexis is really the one that was not always with the family. So she's upset from that standpoint, and that's where all her anger is coming from. So when she talk about all the cars and stuff, she kind of feel a little left out. She said she saved $1,500 up for her first hoopty, while everybody else were getting Mercedes and Chargers. Okay. Now Lexi's sitting down at this table cursing with her father present and Nell, her stepmother present, who has raised her. That's disrespectful. And I get it. I get why Nell's hands are tied at this point. Because you over here talking about these vehicles and you have isolated yourself and blocked everybody. They even said that they barely got an invitation to her wedding. They wanted to be there, but I guess she's feeling a certain way, so she matching energy. P.S. It's clear that Chris has a type, right? Because Nell is a Spitfire. Lexi is a Spitfire, so that means her mother is probably off the chain. This is where Chris resides, right? Because he's so calm. And even in all of this, he's talking about let it go when they talk about how she blocked everybody. Chris, you got to get in the game, sir. I'm waiting. Let's go. Like I said, Lexi feels like she was treated differently. Kayla said you were in another house, and that's why you chose not to talk to us. And Lance says she has a woe is me attitude. Lexi feels a certain way because her dad moved on, expanded his family, and everybody grew up together except for her just being there when she could. They need to sit back and realize that that's what's wrong with her. But at the same time, Lexi, you grown. You got a whole husband. You need to get it together and be respectful. Lexi, who was the old girl Lance was married to? Who are you talking about? P.S. Lexi, you can't curse this woman out and then expect her to invite you to something and pay for it. And you are cursing her out. You cursed your dad out. You have some issues that you need to get resolved. Let's keep going. At this point right here, Nell is fed up with Lexi, right? And Chris is like, she's our daughter. We love her. He said, hold on, let me run it back. I think he said, unfortunately. Hold on. He said, as painful as it is, she's still their daughter, and he's always going to love her. Nell said, I'm just going to have to respect your decision. So this is Chris telling Lexi and her husband to go the F home, right? Because he had gone out to the car. He said that, one thing, we have not treated you differently. Then Lexi goes off and she was like, have you been there for me my whole life? He was like, there were some times when it was difficult. So I'm guessing maybe a divorce was the problem, right? And she said, you hadn't been there for me until I was 28. That's where he told him to go the F home. Because he said, you are a effing liar. Like, Chris got with it. Now I'm just needing him to have his energy on Martel. Let's keep going. So Courtney and Stormy are outside discussing everything. Kyle is still there, and she's talked about how important he is to Canvas Beauty and where he's brought it from, and how she almost lost everything in the year 2022. And they talked about that. Then she talked about how she wants to be a mediator between Tiffany and Kiki. And Stormy feels like she can help them save their relationship before it gets too far gone. Okay. Then Courtney drops a bomb on Stormy. Hold on. Child, Courtney has hired Junior back. Now, you know, Junior is Stormy's cousin, who she fired because he was not doing his job. Now, basically, Stormy has put Junior into Courtney's hands for his responsibility. She was like, I know y'all got this brother thing. She was like, I'm just nervous. I don't know how I like this. But this is Courtney's responsibility. So if anything messes up, that's going to be on you, Courtney. P.S. Word on the curb is Kyle is an actor. Allegedly. Let's keep going. Child, like a thief in the night, Martel has moved. Right? He said he had to get some help, and he could only get help at night. And probably only get help when Montez got out of jail. Because he's helping him at night. Because that's when they do all their dirt, child. So Martel was telling Montez that he's finally moved out of the house, right? So he said a friend had come through with the lease that he could have because he has to have a house big enough because he got a lot of kids. And he was telling Montez also that he had to move now so he could schedule his cosmetic surgery. He says he's having some bags removed from under his eyes. Okay, Martel. Quick question. Do y'all think that Big Ari is going to be the one to nurse him back to visual health? Because you know when he sprained his ankle or whatever he did in season 1, Mel was the one who had to help him. And when he hurt his back, Mel was the nurse. I know she's not doing that this time. Child, wouldn't that be something? So Martel and Montez said it's a great idea to call Chris and let Chris know that he's out of the house. And as Chris is bringing up the conversation with Nell, like Chris ain't getting into him like he should, right? And then Martel is talking to kind of blow it over. And also to say that women should give men a certain level of respect. You shouldn't be over there yelling at that man's wife just because you don't have one. Chris, get on it. So this scene with Brittany and Mel. Brittany is Mel's best friend. They were in college together. They were roommates and all that. But I feel like this scene was a little unnecessary because Mel kept going on about Brittany not being there for her name change ceremony. Brittany told her that she had to go to her niece's sweet 16. That's very important, right? I thought it was a lot. Like, what did you think about that? But then Mel said, you know, maybe you can do something else. Maybe you can help me in finding my new mister. So I'm guessing they're going to sit down and work it out because Brittany says she knows what Mel needs and what she doesn't need. So hopefully Mel will appreciate that. Let's keep going. OPS, 100% Mel, your man is not in Huntsville. So you may have to be international. You may have to get on a plane. Let's go. So Nell and Chris are at the daycare, and she says, you know, we need to have a conversation. At this point, Nell is over Lexi. And at this point, also, this is when Chris is going to have to step in because she was very disrespectful to her. And, like, Nell doesn't deserve that. And Chris is aware of that, and he says, you know, we're going to fix it. And Nell also says that CJ won't even call her anymore after all that. But she was like, they come to him, but she was like, she can't help it. She is who she is. She really don't give a damn like that. And she was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm not you, Chris. I am me, and it is what it is. So Chris suggests that the whole family go to counseling. I think that's a great idea for them to move forward. And I think Lexi and her dad really need some counseling, and then bring Nell into it. I don't think this should be a whole group thing because Lexi is definitely going to feel like she's not heard. So they need to start this off in baby steps so they can all heal and get to a good place. Because this cursing and stuff, this is crazy to me. Let's keep going. I think Stormy needs to stay out of the Kiki and Tisha situation. That's family. That's going to do what it's going to do. As far as Tiffany goes, Kiki, it's smart that Tiffany brought the baby, right? Because Kiki can take it or leave it too. And I feel that Tiffany is talking about Kiki so she can have a storyline. I feel it 100%. We've had 2 great weeks without the Scotts. And then we come back with Tisha talking about what if you're pregnant? Like, make it make sense. Chris gonna have a necessary conversation with Martel. Now, he gonna try to gaslight, but Chris, I want you to stay strong. Y'all, the Whitlows may be out. See y'all.